You have an awesome responsibility. Every day, you make a critical decision. This decision affects your money. This decision affects your health. This decision affects your community. You may not think carefully about it, but every day, you make this decision. So what is it? If you guess food, you are right. More specifically, do you choose food that is organic, and do you choose food that is locally produced? In the next 15 minutes, you're going to hear about the pros and cons of eating local and organic food. But first, you're going to hear about why I became so interested in food choices. For the last 4 years, I have worked at the Arkansas Department of Health as manager of the Arkansas Stroke Registry. This has given me opportunities to attend a number of learning sessions relating to healthy eating. About 3 years ago, I attended a presentation from Dr. Paulo Ribeiro with the Arkansas Heart Hospital that changed my life. It might change yours. Dr. Ribeiro shared how so many of the fruits and vegetables we love are sprayed with dangerous pesticides. I didn't realize how toxic these pesticides are, nor did I realize washing does not remove pesticides. It only removes dirt and bacteria. Do you know the number of pesticides or fungicides that are permitted for use on strawberries? 65. Did you know methyl bromide is one of the chemicals used on strawberries, which the EPA classifies as a deadly substance? Do you enjoy red and green peppers? Did you know these vegetables are often treated 2 to 6 times with insecticides, which include methyl bromide as well as organophosphates? The EPA indicates this chemical is toxic. Do you enjoy spinach? I love spinach almost as much as Popeye, but I had no idea that permethrin is used as a pesticide. It's considered a neurotoxin which can cause tremors, loss of coordination, and behavioral problems. And it goes on and on. I know what you're thinking. This is scary. But there's good news. There is hope. Dr. Ribeiro's presentation sparked my interest in organic foods to avoid these pesticides. So what is organic? The National Organic Program, or NOP, sets the standards for organic foods. When the Organic Foods Production Act of 1990 went into effect, the NOP was formed and became part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The NOP has a variety of standards, which include prohibiting most conventional pesticides, not allowing synthetic fertilizers, and not allowing antibiotics or growth hormone in animal products. Let's move ahead to discuss advantages of eating organic foods. The fact that, first of all, you're protecting your body from bad stuff. You are avoiding fungicides, herbicides, and insecticides. Organic food only uses harmless organic pesticides such as Bacillus thuringiensis. You can see in this chart there are huge quantities of chemicals used in our food. Hundreds of millions of pounds of herbicides, insecticides, fungicides, and other pesticides are used on U.S. produce. Another plus is when you eat organic meats, you're not consuming something that was fed animal byproducts or given antibiotics. Did you know that giving byproducts to animals increases the risk of diseases such as mad cow? Did you know that if you eat meat containing antibiotics, this can make your body less responsive to antibiotic treatment? Eating organic removes these risks. A third benefit is boosting your immune system. We know feeding your body with antioxidants helps you fight sickness and disease. According to a British study, organic crops contain 17% more antioxidants than conventionally grown crops. Antioxidants also have the benefit of reducing your cancer risk. A fourth benefit to eating organic involves the environment. Organic farming utilizes 50% less energy than conventional farming and produces over 48% less carbon dioxide. When it comes to global warming, the less carbon dioxide, the better for the environment. Also, because organic soil does not need as much irrigation, this helps save water, which is another environmental plus. You can see there are significant advantages of eating organic, but there are some disadvantages. First, there is the cost. The fact that on average, you'll pay more for organic than conventional foods. I love shopping at Whole Foods when I go there because they offer a large array of organics. But there's a reason why you hear some people refer to the store as whole paycheck. An issue that high prices touch on is environmental justice. Organic foods can cost sometimes 40 to 50% more than conventional. Unfortunately, this means families with relatively lower incomes may have a difficult time being able to afford organic foods. Another problem is organic foods do not last as long as conventional foods. This is because the chemicals used on non-organic foods acting as preservatives are not sprayed on organic foods. This, of course, will result in shorter shelf lives. A third disadvantage involves the selection of organic foods available. In some areas of the country, particularly in relatively small cities, there can be a scarcity of organic foods. All right, well, so far we have discussed the pluses and minuses of eating organic. Let's move on and talk about locally grown foods. What are local foods? From the research I have done, there is not agreement on the definition of what local is in terms of farm to table. You will see distance defined differently. I understand Whole Foods puts the distance at 200 miles, but stricter definitions may put the number at 100. The U.S. Congress does define the distance for local in the 2008 Farm Act as less than 400 miles. So definitions vary, but let's say we can define local as food that is relatively close from where it was produced to where it is consumed. We know from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that popularity of local food is growing. Between 2008 and 2011, U.S. farmers' markets increased over 50%. Let's first look at the positives of eating local. You will be supporting your local farming community. Data show farmers receive just 20 cents of each food dollar spent. But when you buy local, you help farmers cut out the middleman which brings more money to the community. Another very important benefit is food taste. Local food is in season and fresher, and so the produce will be full of flavor. Doesn't it make sense that fruit from Little Rock is going to taste better than if it was flown in from Brazil? You also benefit from a safer food supply when you buy local. When you think about it, it stands to reason that the less steps between you and the food source, the less of a chance the food is contaminated. You may recall the E. coli contamination of spinach produced from a California company in 2006 that unfortunately killed 3 people and caused hundreds to get sick. But if you knew your spinach was coming from a local grower in Arkansas, you would know it wasn't coming from California, where the outbreak was. The environment also benefits from local food. Did you know the Leopold Center for Sustainable Agriculture indicates that there is an average distance of 1,500 miles for fresh produce to get to your table? We know if there's less distance vehicles have to travel, fewer emissions are produced. Again, a plus when you consider the rate of global warming. There are certainly a number of benefits of buying local, but there are also some cons as well. Just like with organic foods, you can find in many cases locally grown food is more expensive. These sorts of foods are produced using non-industrial methods, which requires additional work and cost. The more we buy local foods, the less of a need there is for the U.S. to import produce from other countries. This can have a sharp impact on living standards to these countries, particularly lower developed countries. A third disadvantage to buying local is seasonal availability of the food. The selection varies by season, and certainly in the winter, it'll be difficult to find local produce. So in some cases, there unfortunately will be very few options to find local. So today you've heard pros and cons of eating organic and eating local foods. Now, if you're still trying to decide what food choices are best for you, I invite you to try the Benjamin Franklin method of decision making. Step 1 is to take out a blank sheet of paper. Step 2 is to write out all the pros of eating organic and local on the left side. Step 3 is to put down the cons on the right side. Then read carefully what you've written down, and you will likely find the answer is obvious. Thank you so much for your attention today, and I wish you good health no matter what choices you make. As American writer Augustine Burroughs once said, "When you have your health, you have everything. When you do not have your health, nothing else matters at all."